Hello YouTube, this is Victor and welcome back to my channel. For those of you already subscribers, you'll notice a small difference. I've changed my look a little bit. I'm a cabin crew and every week I share with you some travel tips on how to travel in better conditions. I'm French-Canadian and fly mostly over the Pacific Ocean. And then, well, welcome aboard. So today I'm going to talk about low-cost airline. Some people don't really know what's included, what it is. It's a charter airline, so I decided to clarify a little bit and give you some information about what you can expect from a low-cost airline. So low-cost started over 25 years ago, I think even more than that, mostly in Europe. The first big one was Ryanair, followed by EasyJet, and then there's quite a few of them. Another big one in Europe is called Virlig. If you are flying in North America, you're probably very familiar with Southwest, JetBlue. That are the two major ones you fly across the US, but also you find Spirit. Quite often I'll explain that a classic airline will be a restaurant with a menu, and a low-cost airline will be a restaurant with only a la carte. So in a classic airline, pretty much everything will be included, even though nowadays it's kind of been between mixed of classic and low-cost. But usually, let's say you're flying long haul, you will have all inclusion. You'll get a baggage allowance, you'll get a meal, you get a blanket, a pillow, you'll be able to select your seats and this kind of stuff. Where on the low-cost airline, you can do all those things but have to pay an extra fee for that. So the low-cost airline will include the time that you board in the plane until the time you land, and then in between is just a seat belt and access to toilets, and that's pretty much it. Some will give you a little bit more. If you fly JetBlue, you will get drinks also on Southwest. JetBlue will also give you their famous blue chips, but let's say you fly within Europe, usually you will have to pay for everything, pretty much even a glass of water. Low-cost airline will tend to fly also from suburbs airports. It's not always the case in North America, but it's coming. A new one will be coming up next year, and instead of flying from LAX in LA, we'll fly from Burbank Airport, which I actually quite like. It's not as crowded as LA, but let's say you're going to Europe, you're flying to Paris on Ryanair. Well, you won't be in Paris, you'll be in Beauvais, which is quite a wee while. So you need to include your cost for transportation between Beauvais to Paris, and also this time. So it's all about decision, what you're willing to pay, what you're willing to do to fly on low cost. Yeah, the price is very interesting. They will fly you sometimes for $10 or €10, but at this price there's pretty much nothing included besides what I explained, just being seated. So if you need a bag, if you need sometimes even a carry-on bag, if you want to select your seat, be the first one to board, all this kind of stuff, you will have to pay extra. And this is where it's important that you check on their website what's included, and then you know all the prices, the extras, and you decide which one you want to buy. And from that, you'll see the total price, and you compare the total price on a classic airline and see what's best for you. Low cost also will operate usually from A to B. Classic airline will use a system called hub and spoke. That means they will fly people from everywhere into a major hub, and then from this hub will fly people again everywhere. So let's say you are flying from Montreal to Chicago, you want to continue to San Diego. Well, you go through Chicago, all the planes will land there, and then a lot of planes will leave an hour later toward all the other destinations. Low cost most of the time will not offer a transfer flight or connecting flight. They'll fly you straight from A to B, and by doing that they'll avoid all the delays that they may have in connections and have to accommodate passengers with hotel and stuff like that. So that's another way for them to save some money. Flying a low cost quite often will mean you fly on a brand new plane, and it's a case, for example, EasyJet, they have brand new spotless new Airbus 320 family. Why getting new planes, even though they're more expensive because they're brand new? Well, they will save a lot of money on petrol. The fuel will be cheaper because they use new engine technology. They will also have usually carbon fiber or new kind of aircraft that actually be cheaper to operate and lighter. Another way that you can save money is by subcontracting many things. So not that many people will actually work for the airline. In some cases, I've seen some Australian airlines saying pretty much everybody was subcontracted, even flight attendant. Quite often all the ground staff will not work for this airline. It's all subcontract, so they don't have to deal with long-term contract. They can actually close a station and airport very easily and get to a new one without having to lay off anyone. They just terminate a contract. Now, low cost historically have been mostly toward short and mid-haul flights, so within a few hours. If you look at Europe, many places you can fly within 2 hours, and those passengers will fly often for weekends, so they don't need to take a lot of luggage, or just even for like a day meeting in and out. So that's fine, it's quite convenient, there's a lot of them, and it's cheap. But now we start to see the arrival of long-haul carrier in low cost. There's been one, I can't remember the name, but in Canada, we had it from Montreal going to France and I think UK. That was early 2000. It actually disappeared, but they were using old aircraft, 767, and it was quite expensive in fuel. Now you've got a big one, the big challenger arriving everywhere in the world. It's called Norwegian. So they're from Norway actually, but even though there's not so many people that are actually from Norway on board, but that's their name. They're also registered actually in Ireland, but that's for tax purposes. They fly from everywhere in Europe to mostly North America now, and they're even starting Norwegian Argentina, which will be based in Buenos Aires, and fly from Latin America to many other places. They use Dreamliner, so one of the newest aircraft with new technology and very low fuel costs. So watch this space, because that will change again the way we've traveled in the future. But again, before you buy a low-cost airline, look at all the conditions. You need to make sure you're quite happy to obey to those. I remember flying EasyJet, and then I had my small carry-on bag, which was fine, it was included, but I had a yoga mat with me, which was rolled, and they wanted me to pay quite a hefty price at the gate to board my yoga mat, which can become completely flat and I can put it under my feet, but they didn't allow that, and yoga mat was too big to fit in my carry-on bag. So I actually wrap you up around my waist and put the belt, and I say, there you go, I don't have a mat, it's just to keep me warm, and then let me in. So just make sure you know all the rules, and then you'll be completely fine to fly a low-cost airline. But again, it's super safe, and I got a brand new plane, so it's actually quite worth it. Thanks for watching this video. If you like it, please feel free to put a thumb up. If you haven't subscribed and it's a new channel in English, you can click here. If you want to see my previous content, you will see it on the circle there. It will be on my old French channel. But yeah, and if you know someone who's going to fly soon, feel free to share this video. Thanks for watching, have a good day, and I'll see you next week. Bye.